Weak systems of governance and the absence of the rule of law both combine to form the perfect stage for corruption to flourish. As part of our anti-corruption fight at Kaieteur Radio, we invite you to join us every Tuesday evening from 7:30 p.m. as we embark on the most needed quest to remove the tentacles of corruption from our systems. See you then for our latest program called Governance, Corruption, and Justice.
This is the news on top of the hour.
Live from our studio in Georgetown.
Kaieteur Radio, 99.1 FM.
Good evening. Welcome to this evening's newscast on Kaieteur Radio. Kevin Smith here. Let's get to the news in detail. Guyanese evaluators are currently reviewing bids from 15 companies which are interested in marketing the country's next lift of 1 billion barrels of Stabroek Block oil, which is due in September. But two of the traders on that list were on Sunday banned from receiving new work in Mexico. Though Mexico has not released the details of the new corruption charges, its energy minister, Rocio Nale, said both companies will remain under the ban until 2024, while the government reviews the conduct of other oil operators and traders. The two global traders in question are Vital Group and Trafigura Group. The Mexican government has also declared that it will suspend work with any company found to have committed wrongdoing. And in other news, Canadian-based CGX Energy Inc., along with its joint venture partner, Frontera Energy Corporation, have begun drilling its second exploration well offshore Guyana, resuming its Guyana campaign. The company has already submitted a bill to Guyana for some $155 million for its first dry well spud, and currently controls the Demerara and Corentyne blocks. Additionally, the Kawa 1 well is expected to de-risk multiple other prospects on the block, which also have stacked reservoirs and similar structural geometries. And moving on, a woman who is accused, along with three others, of murdering her son-in-law fainted yesterday after the magistrate remanded them to prison. Brenna Nurse and three of her son's friends, Devon Harry, Nicholas Hercules, and Peter Lamb, appeared at the Sparendam Magistrates Court before Magistrate Alicia George and were jointly charged for the murder of 24-year-old Kieran McPherson of Defield Sophia. McPherson was killed from a gunshot wound to his abdomen sometime between 23 hours 50 on Saturday, August 14th, and 4 hours on Sunday, August 15th. Nurse, his mother-in-law, and the three men pleaded not guilty to the joint murder charge, and Magistrate George remanded them to prison until August 17th. In other news, the trial for the election fraud case, which involves chairperson for the People's National Congress, Valda Lawrence, former GCOM Region 4 RO Clement Mingo, and APNU-AFC activist Carl Smith-Joseph, is expected to commence on Friday in the Georgetown Magistrates Court. The trio's trial will be conducted by Chief Magistrate Anne McLennan. Earlier this year, the Chief Magistrate had ruled on the mode of trial for Lawrence, Mingo, and Smith-Joseph's court matter. The magistrate had ruled that the matter will be tried summarily. Her ruling paved the way for the trial to commence. In other news, Anthony Jones, a businessman from Yarrow Cabra, Suicide Linden Highway, was yesterday sentenced to life imprisonment for stabbing a teenage boy to death in 2018. According to the facts of the case, 19-year-old Nyron Vifus was fatally stabbed while protecting Jones' wife from being abused. Reports are that on the day in question, Vifus was at a liquor store owned by Jones and witnessed Jones abusing his wife. The young man, upon realizing what was happening, intervened and attempted to stop Jones from harming the woman. Jones, however, became annoyed and armed himself with an axe. The weapon was eventually taken from him by another person who was at the shop at the time. Jones went into the house and armed himself with a knife, which was later used to stab the teenager to the stomach. And to wrap things up this evening, let's tell you that yesterday the Minister of Health, Dr. Frank Anthony, announced that 34,000 doses of the single-shot Johnson & Johnson COVID-19 vaccine that the government procured are scheduled to arrive in the country. Hours after making the announcement, officials witnessed the arrival of a quantity of the first batch of Johnson & Johnson vaccines along with 5,000 doses of the Russian Sputnik V component 2 vaccines. The Johnson & Johnson vaccine was earlier in the year given emergency use authorization by the US FDA. This vaccine is said to prevent COVID-19 in persons 18 years of age and older. And with that, we've come to the end of this evening's newscast. I'm Kevin Smith. Thank you for listening. Coming up at 19 hours 20 is Governance, Corruption and Justice with Kaieteur News' very own Kiana Wilberg, and her guest this evening. Her special guest is Honorable Minister Susan Rodriguez, Member of Parliament and Minister within the Ministry of Housing and Water. Do stay tuned to Kaieteur Radio.
Want value for your advertising dollar? Then place your ads on Kaieteur Radio's newscasts. Streamed live on 6 different mediums, reaching hundreds of thousands. Advertise today and watch your dollar grow. Call us on 225-8465 or 226-8210 today.
Kaieteur Radio.
Covering Guyana from coast to coast.
Demerara and Essequibo 99.1 FM.
Purvis 99.5 FM. Kaieteur Radio.
Guyana,